Well, folks, you've seen some of the maps and things of the hurricane that's churning. Heard a really good description of it, like a washing machine out in the Atlantic. This thing went in 12 hours from a Category 2 to a 5. It's now down again to a 2, expected to gain to a 3 before it parallels the Outer Banks of North Carolina. But I thought the comparison to a washing machine was a very viable description. And we've looked at a lot of stuff there. The article that I showed you the headlines to for water rescues at 50, it is now at 60, and they have red flagged the beaches now. Red flags all the way up to the Jersey Shore. People was coming in to surf and that type of thing. Now, I will tell you folks, now the fishing is usually very good right before a hurricane. So if you have any intentions on fishing, now you may do some good. But once the waves begin churning in at a good height, you won't be able to hold your rigs in the water. But, you know, if you get there 2-3 days before the hurricane, you can catch a lot of fish prior to the hurricane, because they'll go back out and stay away from the shore till the hurricane is over with, and then they'll move back in. There's expected to be a lot of storm surge in areas that normally do not flood. One of the pictures shows the graph of expected flooding, 1 to 2 feet in some areas, 2 to 3 feet in other areas. And this mainly is going to be because of the surge of the washout coming in, and wave heights down on the southern coast of North Carolina expected to be between 5 and 8 feet. And then once you get out to Hatteras Island, around Cape Hatteras, those wave heights along the beach, I saw one figure, 20 to 23 feet, and that's a considerable size wave for the Outer Banks. Now, the Outer Banks, if you've never been there, it's a whole different layout. The beaches in Florida are relatively flat, and you've got to go out a pretty good ways to get over your head. That same premise pretty much runs all the way up into the southern beaches of North Carolina. But once you reach the Outer Banks, once you reach roughly Carolina Beach, Curie Beach, those areas right in there, the beach differs. It starts to change. And what I mean is it gets deep fast. You walk out in the water, you don't have to go very far till you're almost over your head. And when you get a wave that comes in that's 5 to 8 feet tall, they're going to break a lot closer to the shore than they do, say, at Myrtle Beach or somewhere around Charleston, Daytona Beach, any place like that. These waves break a lot closer because the water's a little deeper, and the pitch of the sand itself it goes down deeper. That's why the fishing is so much better off of the Outer Banks than it is anywhere else, because the water gets deeper quicker, and the fish can come in a lot closer, pushing the bait up closer to the shoreline, and they don't have any trouble beaching themselves or anything. They can chase the bait fish right up to the edge and not have to worry about that. But when you talk about getting a 20-foot wave on the Outer Banks, it's going to be a mess. They're expecting several areas of Highway 12 to be washed out. And then that's going to take some considerable amount of time to repair those areas. They'll have to bring heavy equipment in to do that, to scrape the sand off of the highways and things and place it back down onto the beach. And there's probably going to be a lot of beach nourishment that is going to have to take place if the erosion is as bad as it is. They said the storm was basically 200 miles from the outward from the eye, so that would be 400 miles across, roughly. It's a huge monster of a storm, and the incredible amount of rip currents and things that are taking place is going to pull a lot of sand out. So I can imagine there's going to be a lot of beach re-nourishment projects that'll take place, and those projects usually come with grants. I saw one for Oak Island that was going to get about a $20 million grant from the state of North Carolina, and they was looking at a $40 million grant from the federal government, and they were trying to get bids for dredging the Cape Fear River out, and they received some of the sand as well as Bald Head Island and Fort Caswell down there, and they generally help pay for it, and they get one of them gets the sand each year, and that's kind of what I was reading into it. But this seems to be a pretty big storm. Now, we had some rain this morning. We've still got all these old gray carpet clouds. You saw on the earlier video all the spraying that took place. We put the 1 o'clock video out just so the people that watch the channel from the Outer Banks, I'm sure they know what's going on. But when you're in a situation like they are, they want to get all the information they can as to make the best judgment possible in their situation. Now, you've probably seen in the pictures the huge line of cars trying to get out. That was trying to board the Ocracoke ferry, and that picture came out on the news this morning, and you could see that on the camera down there if you had the correct web link to be able to see the traffic cams and everything. Now, there are some of the fishing piers, I will tell you, if the power stays on, some of the fishing piers down on the Outer Banks have webcams, and you can utilize or access the webcams to be able to see the heavy surf and things like that. I think the fishing piers put those cameras up so that people can see whether they're catching fish or not. And if they start catching fish, then the pier just fills up with people coming in to fish. And they use it as a means of, monitoring what's going on, but also as a marketing strategy of where the fish are located to help bring in business as well. But folks, you folks that are on the Outer Banks or inland a little ways, I was watching one of the weather reports, and the Weatherman Plus, he's looking at a possibility of the storm moving at least 50 miles west, which brings it closer to the coast. And he was talking about flooding all the way into Jacksonville and places like that. We have one of our military bases there, the Camp Lejeune area there outside of Jacksonville for the Marine Corps. And he was drawing a line, and I showed that on the video. I took a little clip of his video to show that where he was drawing the line of where the outer remnants of the storm could possibly be if that eye moved over. And he seemed to be convinced that it was going to move some west before turning north. So we wanted to put that into perspective as well. Well, folks, I appreciate you joining me this evening. You folks that are inland, you may want to move your cars up to a little lower, higher elevation so you don't get your vehicles flooded. You never know how much of that surge is going to come in. If the hurricane moves further west than anticipated, the storm surge is going to get even higher, and the flooding will get deeper. So something to think about. And that's something you don't want to have to pay for, is a flooded car, because your insurance company is not going to pay you a retail value. They're going to pay you a value of if you just walked into a dealership and wanted to trade. You're not going to get half of what you could get out of something. So, that's their way of another scam, not paying you what the vehicle's worth, just paying you what they think your trade-in's going to be. Well, folks, y'all have a blessed day. We're going to keep our eye on the storm, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.